Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Straight to Blu-ray. My name is James, and in today's video, it is time for another 4K review, an average James 4K review. And if you've been living under a physical media rock for the past couple months, you obviously know that James Cameron's three of his popular movies came out on 4K on the same day this past Tuesday. I'm talking about The Abyss, True Lies, and Aliens. I have two of those movies in so far, True Lies and The Abyss. The Aliens is the only one I'm still waiting on. Amazon's taking a while. I did watch both movies last night, but in today's video, I am going to be going over the 4K edition of The Abyss. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the video. If you are new here, please think about hitting that like and subscribe button. I post movie-related videos at least a couple times a week on various movie-related topics, including 4K reviews. This is part of my average James 4K reviews. This is what the average person can expect if they decide to pick up any of the 4Ks that I go over, including The Abyss, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. Like I said, this is one of the three James Cameron releases that came out this past week, eagerly anticipated. Well, I will say, I think probably True Lies and Aliens were very eagerly anticipated, and I think they just kind of threw The Abyss in there just because, you know, it would help sales. So if you bought the other two, why not get this one? I don't think The Abyss is as nearly as big of and people weren't clamoring for it as much as True Lies and especially Aliens. But we did get it, and with this, this and True Lies are both weird because these were obviously big blockbuster movies. I mean, they're James Cameron movies. It's not like this was when he was some aspiring filmmaker. These were made, you know, these were big, you know, Hollywood blockbuster movies. But for whatever reason, they have not had like a standard Blu-ray edition, at least not in the United States anyway. Not like a standard Blu-ray edition. It's basically been DVD, or, you know, maybe there was something in Europe or Australia that came out, or you could get some bootleg off of a site or a streaming version of it. But there hasn't been like a physical media copy, Blu-ray copy, until now, which you get the 4K. In this edition here, you get the 4K copy, you get a Blu-ray disc, and you also get the digital code. So we're finally getting the movies in, you know, halfway decent non-DVD quality. So yeah, like I said, this is the slipcover edition, which is the only way you can get it. There is no steelbook. Not yet anyway, I'm sure in the future, probably. But here is the front of it there, which I really like this artwork. I think it looks cool. We've got the spine right there. And then we've got the back right here. And then on the inside, the actual case artwork basically is the exact same thing. Get my fingers out of the way so you can actually see it there. And then we've got, once again, I should have a table right here so you can actually see stuff without me having to, there we go. Now you can see it. I don't think there's reversible artwork on this one. I'm going to probably guarantee you, definitely not. And then on the inside, no artwork on the discs, but we have the two, it's actually three here. This is a 3-disc set. This is the Blu-ray, and then there's a special feature Blu-ray disc under that. It was actually reversed. They had the Blu-ray on the left side by itself, and then on the right side they had the 4K disc, and under that was the special features disc, which I hate when they stack discs on top of each other. I'm just not a fan of that. So since I'm probably going to watch the 4K, you know, whenever I watch this mostly, I move the 4K disc over to its own spots, and then put the Blu-ray disc on top of the special features disc. So yeah, like I said, definitely I like the artwork on this one. Think it looks really cool. Get this guy back in there. So yeah, that is it right there. So you do, like I said, you get three discs in this one. So I'm gonna take the glasses off since I'm getting old. Go over what you get in this one. The first disc, like I said, is going to be your 4K edition. You do get the original theatrical version, and then you get a special edition version, which apparently James Cameron said this is the movie, the way he intended it to be done. I guess movie executives, you know, kind of made them cut it back a little bit, but the special edition is the way he truly intended it to, you know, actually, you know, be. So you do get both of those versions on the 4K, and then the second disc is Blu-ray, same thing. You do get the theatrical version, and you also get the special edition. So you're getting them both on 4K and or Blu-ray. With the digital copy, I'm not sure because I don't usually redeem them. To be honest, I usually sell them. So I'm not sure which version you get. Do you get both? Probably not, but one of the two. And then on disc 3, that's going to be the bonus feature disc, and that is a Blu-ray disc, as they usually are. So on the Blu-ray bonus feature disc, you're going to get Deep Dive, a conversation with James Cameron. You're going to get The Legacy of the Abyss, Under Pressure, Making the Abyss. You get archives, stills and video, including the shooting script, original treatment, storyboards, and more. So you're getting all that on the bonus disc. So, it's got a good, amount of special features when you're getting its own separate disc. This does have Dolby Vision, and it does have Dolby Atmos for the audio on it. I do not have, I have a Dolby Atmos TV, but I don't have a Dolby Atmos DVD player, 4K player. So I watched basically the HDR version of the movie. So yeah, before we get into that, I know, like I said, The Abyss is not like, it's not on the level, I think, of True Lies and Aliens as far as popularity. I know people enjoy it. I thought it was okay. But, if you, for whatever reason, have never heard of The Abyss, I'll go ahead and read the description of it here. And it does also say, basically, with the theatrical version, with the special edition version, which came out in 93, the original came out in 89, you get 31 minutes of additional footage. And this is already a 2.5-hour movie to begin with, just about. I think it's like 2:20. So you get, this is basically, if you hit get the special edition, it's a 3-hour one. So keep that in mind. So basically, description is, in this underwater sci-fi adventure, written and directed by James Cameron, a nuclear sub mysteriously sinks, and a private oil rig crew led by foreman Bud Brigman, who's played by Ed Harris, is recruited to join a team of Navy SEALs on a search and rescue effort. The group soon finds themselves on a spectacular life and death odyssey 25,000 feet below the ocean's surface, where they find a mysterious force that can either change the world or destroy it. It says the group finds themselves on a spectacular life and death odyssey 25,000 feet. I'm pretty confident they were not 25,000 feet under the water. I don't remember the exact, but it is at 25,000 feet. Maybe at the very end it hit 24, but no. I don't know why they kind of put that in there. But basically that's the gist of the story. You get a nuclear sub crashes. They hire this oil rig crew along with some Navy SEALs to kind of go find the wreckage, check for survivors that really, but obviously the nuclear submarine portion of that is the main area of concern for the military. And then you've kind of got this supernatural type force that's also down there, whatever. Like I said, overall the movie, as far as the movie goes, like the story, just the actual movie, not my favorite. It's okay. But just the storyline, it drags a little bit. I can only imagine the special edition 31 minutes of it are really going to probably drag a little bit. Maybe I'll have to check that out one day. But the story's okay. I think it's more of the way the movie is shot and the fact that it was 89 and underwater. Shooting scenes and it looked really good. I know 89 for some of us old people doesn't seem like that long ago, but it still was, you weren't getting the best quality of special effects, but I still think, overall shot really well, as far as the movie goes. Now, talking about the 4K, obviously we're coming from a DVD to 4K, so the jump is quite, this is quite a big jump. There was no Blu-ray, like I said, unless you kind of found some bootleg edition. There was no real Blu-ray edition, so you're getting quite the jump. I thought it looked good. There is, obviously I think if you ask anybody what the worst 4K transfer was, we're going to go Terminator 2, which is also a James Cameron movie, and he was heavily involved in the 4K process of that, and he's heavily involved in these 3 movies as well. And the big complaint on that one was the DNR, digital noise reduction, to try to get rid of some of that grain. So the problem is when you try to get rid of a lot of that grain, you also get rid of detail on faces, and then it's like a real smooth, waxy-ish type, where it's not very lifelike. It's almost, Madame Tussauds type of look on people's faces. You could tell this, if you like grain, this isn't going to be for you too much. Like, there's not a lot of grain in this, considering it was shot on film. There's not a ton of grain. There's obviously some DNR that was involved in here. The faces, especially Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who's in this one, hers is real smooth. Her face seems really smooth, just like, a little too smooth. So there's obviously some DNR that was involved in this. I don't think it was like so ridiculously heavy that it makes the movie terrible. I thought the movie looked good. You know, especially, you know, when you're talking in this movie, if you haven't seen it, it's obviously taking place underwater. So you've got a lot of dark, you know, you're talking about the ocean, you know, there's a lot of dark scenes. So it's not some bright, vibrant color fest. The only time it's really a bright, vibrant color fest is when the supernatural force, you know, makes its way there. And there's a lot of like bioluminescent colors and things like that. I thought looked pretty good in this one. Not great, but I thought they looked really good. But, you know, overall, I think, you know, like I said, when we're talking about going from a DVD to a 4K, I mean, that's a jump regardless of even if you, I mean, if you did Terminator 2, the waxy one everyone hates from, and it was the previous version was a DVD, people are still probably going to go to the 4K over the DVD, just, you know, just because of the, you know, the lower level of the DVD. Now, the DVDs always look bad, but there's a big difference between DVD and 4K. Maybe not so much with people between Blu-ray and 4K, which when you go from a Blu-ray disc to a 4K, sometimes, as in Terminator 2, people will go, I'd rather just watch the Blu-ray. But for this one, I thought it looked good. Like I said, there's not a lot of grain in this movie. There is some DNR involved. I don't think it's like overly done where you're like, ugh, like that doesn't even look like a real person. But as far as like faces go, especially during close-ups, even on Ed Helms, I'm sorry, Ed Harris, not Ed Helms, Ed Harris. It's not super detailed that you would kind of find in other transfers. It is a little DNR. They're a little, like I said, especially Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Hers is, you know, I know she was younger then, but not that young. So there is some on there. But overall, I thought it looked really good on 4K. Definitely worth the pickup for the video portion of it. The audio I thought sounded good. This is one that now, if you've watched any of my previous 4K movies reviews, I live in an apartment, so I have to be careful when and I do have surround sound with Atmos, so I have to be careful. There's some movies that like the background noise and the audio, they're, you know, basically the what's the word? The vocals of it, the dialogue. That's what I'm looking for. The dialogue, similar volume levels. This is not that. This is definitely, you know, dialogue is at one level. Some of the other louder, you know, basically things going on around them, things crashing, much louder level. I mean, as they should be. So if you do live in an apartment, you got the surround sound, you are going to be hitting that remote a little bit up, down. So you're not, you know, pissing off the neighbors, shall we say. But I thought it sounded good. The dialogue was pretty clear. I did have to turn it up a little bit louder than normal to hear the dialogue. Normally on some other movies, I don't have to crank the volume up as loud. So it was a little low, but you know, once you get to that higher level, it sounds fine. I thought the dialogue was good. I thought the audio was good. It has Atmos on there. It does sound good because there's a lot of, it's underwater. They go out into the, you know, under the water in scuba suits or whatever they call those that they had special ones. So you get that bubble noise that's coming from it, and that sounded really good. You know, that was definitely very clear. So a lot of the sound effects and things like that with the bubbling water and things of that nature, I thought sounded really good. So the audio definitely was very good. Definitely an upgrade. So yeah, audio was good. I thought picture quality was good. Like I said, you are going to get some of that DNR on there. It's not, there isn't a heavy amount of grain, which probably, you know, it's odd because if it was heavy grain, there's a lot of scenes where they're like underwater in these submersible vehicles, and basically it's complete darkness except where they've got their spotlights going. So it's I guess it would be difficult because if you had a heavy amount of grain in those scenes, that grain probably would have come out real strong in that complete darkness area. You would have seen it a lot. So I'm assuming, you know, they tried to clear that up a little bit. I did hear that there's maybe some AI software involved in doing this. I don't know that 100%, but and then I guess James Cameron just is not a fan of film grain, apparently. So like I said, there is a little bit of DNR on this one. I don't think it's going to be excessive that you won't enjoy the movie, but it is there. But overall, I would say I definitely enjoyed The Abyss on 4K. I know maybe there's going to possibly be some people that don't like that because they like that more natural, you know, film grain look. If you're a big fan of film grain, you think then this probably isn't going to, you're not going to think this was the best. But I think overall, especially like I said, coming from the DVD, definitely worth a pickup. So I would definitely recommend getting The Abyss on 4K. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for another episode. Leave me a comment down below. Did you check out The Abyss on 4K? Let me know what you thought of the picture quality and the audio quality, and whether you would buy this or not. Are you a fan of the film grain, or do you prefer that more, modern look of a movie that was shot digitally. Let me know that in the comments down below. And as always, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.